بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم تنزيله بعد أن أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. صدق الله العظيم. My dear respected brothers and elders in Islam and respected sisters and youngsters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has showered many blessings upon us in this month, and as this month is coming to a near end, inshallah, is coming to a close, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it with afiyah for all of us. We have a moment on this final Friday of Ramadan to ponder and reflect that as we are looking forward with great expectation to Eid and the happiness of Eid, what is the philosophy in our deen about Eid, and what is the actual celebration of Eid about? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala outlined this reason himself in the Quran, so we do not have to come up with our own explanation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةِ, in that you complete the days of fasting prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, and then you glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you say His greatness, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. You make the takbir of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ala ma hadakum, to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift that He has guided you. So these are, the takbir and the salatul Eid is there to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings of tawfiq in this month of Ramadan. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, and so that you may be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that you can make shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Both of the Eid that we have in our deen, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, both of them are linked up with ibadat. Eid al-Fitr coming at the conclusion of the month of fasting, the month of sadaqat, the month of tilawat of the Quran, the month of qiyam in the night, and Eid al-Adha coming after the days of sacrifice and the days of Hajj. What we are being taught is the blessings that we have from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that pertain to the dunya, He gives to those whom He loves and those whom He does not love as well. But the blessings of deen are given to those only that are loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we are enjoying the blessing of deen, then it deserves that we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for these blessings. And that we actually feel happiness and excitement over the blessings of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said in a hadith, إِذَا سَرَّتْكَ حَسَنَتُكَ وَسَاءَتْكَ سَيِّئَتُكَ فَأَنْتَ مُؤْمِنٌ. Know that if your good deed makes you happy, إِذَا سَرَّتْكَ حَسَنَتُكَ, if your good deed makes you happy, makes you excited, وَسَاءَتْكَ سَيِّئَتُكَ, and when you commit a sin that makes you sad, it depresses you, it creates regret within you, فَأَنْتَ مُؤْمِنٌ, then know that you are a true believer. So this is considered an alamat of iman, an indication of iman, that we should actually have happiness when we do a good deed, inner happiness, and thankfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, you gave me the tawfiq to perform this good deed. Another hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانِ, that there are two occasions when the fasting person is happy. فَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ فِطْرِهِ وَفَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ لِقَاءِ رَبِّهِ. One is he is happy at the time of iftar, and the second is he is happy at the time when he will meet his Lord. Why is he happy at the time of iftar? Many times we think when we read this hadith that, oh, he's happy because of all the beautiful foods and drinks that are prepared at the time of iftar, so looking at that he is happy. But actually the scholars, when they explain this hadith, they say that the reason the fasting person is happy at the time of iftar is he's thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, with your tawfiq, with your guidance, I was able to fulfill this commandment of the deen of Allah, I was able to complete another fast for your sake. So after completing the ibadah, he is happy. He is thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And why will he be happy? When he meets his Lord in the liqa'i rabbihi, he'll be happy when he meets his Lord, when he sees all of the promises of Allah ta'ala coming true, and all of the rewards in the Jannah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for his righteous servants. When he sees those rewards, this will create happiness in his heart. So the essence of the happiness of Eid is the happiness over doing righteous deeds. On the other hand, if we wasted away the month and there was hardly any change in our schedule, and we did not increase our good deeds the way we should have, then there is no cause for happiness on Eid. Rather, we should be regretful. We should make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is still not too late. We have a few days left. We can try to make up. Try our best to catch up before the Ramadan escapes from us, before the month is over, and then we'll have nothing left but regret. Looking at the stories of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum mentioned in the Quran, in the Seerah, and in the books of history, we find that they had this quality, that any gift of the deen which was given to them, any progress in deen that was there, any accomplishment of deen, this gave them great happiness, great satisfaction. Even if it meant, at the same time, if this progress in deen and this accomplishment in deen came with sacrifices of the world, and even if it came with losing out on material things, that was no cause of any sadness for the Sahaba. Rather, they were happy that they progressed in the deen. An example is Suhaib Rumi radiallahu ta'ala anhu. When he was making hijrah from Makkah al-Mukarramah to Madinah al-Munawwarah, he was a very great businessman, and he had accumulated a lot of wealth over the years. And he left all of that for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He went out to fulfill the obligation hijrah, to migrate from Makkah al-Mukarramah to Madinah al-Munawwarah. But the Quraysh, they heard about him. The news spread that Suhaib Rumi has left, and he is going and he's escaping to Medina. He's going to escape our clutch. So they sent a group to go after him, to go and apprehend him, to catch him, to stop him, detain him. And when he was on his way traveling, he turned around and he saw there was a group of people coming. So he told him, "Stop. Look, I have so many arrows in my quiver. I have so many arrows with me. And you know I am an expert marksman. Every arrow that I have equals one member of you that will be killed from the distance. This is a long range firing. I will fire you, these arrows at you. And then whoever is left from your group, since you're a big group and I am just one person, will come closer. Then I have my spear. I will use my spear and another person will die. And then when you come closer, whoever is left from your group, then I have my sword and I will continue to defend myself, and many of you will be injured or killed. Finally, since you are a huge number, you might overpower me, but after losing so many people." This is one option that is in front of you. The other option is that you know how rich I am. Everyone is aware of my savings. So I have on these different locations in Makkah al-Mukarramah hidden my treasures. And all of my savings are located at this spot, this spot, that spot. And he said, I can identify for you the exact locations. You can go and take them out and divide it amongst yourselves and have that, consider it a gift from me to you for leaving me alone. So those mushrikeen who came out after him, they thought this is the way he presented the facts and the two options. They said this is a very easy decision to make. It's a no-brainer. They chose the option of going with the money. Very interesting thing to note is the thought did not even cross their mind that perhaps he is lying. There's no way to verify the facts. You can't send somebody there to the location, check if the money is there, and then say, fine, you release the hostage. You cannot do that. They knew for a fact that a believer cannot lie. They knew for a fact, imagine this was a time when the enemies who are going out to kill the believers to apprehend the believers, not allow them to make hijrah, they also were convinced that the believer cannot lie. So this is, subhanAllah, an example of losing all the dunya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of fulfilling the hijrah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayah in the Quran, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ رَؤُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. Ayah 177 in Surah Baqarah. Allah ta'ala says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, and amongst the people there are those who are so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ, they're ransoming off themselves to protect themselves, ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ, to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They gave away their life savings, earnings, of decades of earnings, with blood and sweat and tears and efforts. They gave that all up to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu ra'ufun bil ibad, and Allah is the most loving to His slaves. Now, the point of the story is, when he comes into Madinatul Munawwara and returns back and arrives in Madinatul Munawwara, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam sees him, the first thing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says to him is that, Rabihta ya Suhaib. O Suhaib, you have done a very profitable business. You made a great profit. You did a great achievement in your transaction. And he was so pleased by these encouraging words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and this bashara and this glad tiding. The situation mentioned earlier in the hadith, لِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانْ فَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ فِطْرِ, that the fasting person, he has two occasions of happiness. One is he's happy at the time of iftar. It might have been confusing to us because we have the apparent understanding that, oh, he's happy because of the beautiful drinks and food. Or is he happy because he completed the fast? Why is he really happy? But in this scenario, this example that I'm presenting, it is absolutely clear that from the material perspective, there was no gain. In fact, it was huge loss. Huge loss. Yet he is so happy, yet he is overjoyed, yet he's excited, and there is no sign of any depression, no sign of any regret, no looking back. Why? Because their belief was in the promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were happy and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, we were able to accomplish this deed for your sake. In fact, the muhajirun who gave up everything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they did not even want to, when they went back to Makkah al-Mukarramah at the time of the conquest of Makkah, even look at the house that they grew up in and the one that they used to live in, and they gave up for the sake of Allah. They said, we gave this up for the sake of Allah, we do not even want to cool our eyes or cast a glance of, oh, maybe can I get this back? Can we make some arrangements now that we are the conquerors of Makkah and Islam has become dominant in Makkah? Can we get an opportunity to get our houses back that were taken away from us? No, they did not do that. They did not even want to look at it. The request is that please, those who are in the back, if you see any open space in front of you, please come forward, fill in the gaps, inshallah. Please come forward, fill in any gap in front of you. Let us sit closer together as people are standing outside. So, this is the condition of the believer. Any progress in deen, any accomplishment of deen, this gives happiness. سَرَّتْكَ حَسَنَتُكَ وَسَاءَتْكَ سَيِّئَتُكَ فَأَنْتَ مُؤْمِنٌ. On the other hand, another example we see in the Quran is Surah At-Tawbah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the Jayshul Usra, the campaign of difficulty. This was a very, very difficult campaign, the most difficult campaign upon the Sahaba radiallahu anhum in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was the Battle of Tabuk. In the Battle of Tabuk, there were many factors that all came together to make it difficult. On one side, it had been drought for a long time, and the people of Medina were suffering from it, and there was scarcity of food, and they had a basically an agriculture-based economy based on the orchards and the date palm trees, and finally, it was the time for harvest. And if you leave the crops, then everything would rot and would be wasted. The whole year's income would be gone if you leave the gardens at this time. So the time for harvesting had drawn near for the date palm trees. One factor. Another factor was it was extremely hot, as mentioned in Surah At-Tawbah. The munafiqun, the hypocrites said, لا تنفروا في الحر لا تنفروا في الحر قل نار جهنم أشد حرا لو كانوا يفقهون. The hypocrites, they're telling the believers, don't go out in the heat. Don't go out in the excessive heat. Respond to them, tell them the fire of Jahannam is far hotter, it's far more hot. The heat is much more severe of the fire of Jahannam, if they but understood, if they but knew. Thirdly is the enemy was not just another little tribe or some small group. The enemy was the Roman Empire itself, the superpower of the time that had huge armies and weapons. Fourthly, it was not a nearby distance that you could travel and come back quickly. You had to travel from Medina Munawwara all the way to the border or into the border of the Roman Empire. It was a very long, arduous journey and trek in the hottest time of the year. So all these factors combined. And then on top of it, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Infiru, Allah Ta'ala revealed in the Quran, Infiru khifafan wa siqala. Whether you are in good time, in good condition or bad condition, every single person is obligated and mandated to participate in this campaign, with no exceptions. You couldn't make an excuse to stay back. So, this was a very, very difficult campaign from any way you look at it. And three Sahaba radiallahu anhum, Ka'b ibn Malik radiallahu anh, Murarat ibn Rabi' and Hilal ibn Umayyah. They were senior Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite wisdom wanted to teach us, the rest of the ummah, a lesson. So, these three people, they did not participate, and regarding them, ayats were revealed in the Quran. وَعَلَى الثَّلَاثَةِ الَّذِينَ خُلِّفُوا. The three who were left behind, they actually faced punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a period of time until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave them, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat in their forgiveness. So this was the battle of Tabuk. In the battle of Tabuk, when the munafiqun are making excuses, and we would come to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and make excuses, Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so soft-hearted, so kind. He was granting them all the he was accepting them and granting them leave and saying, fine, you're exempted, you're exempted, you're exempted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not pleased with that. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to correct Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, look at the adab and how Allah ta'ala treats Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with such adab, with such a beautiful style, that instead of reprimanding him harshly, what is wrong with you? Na'udhu billahi. Allah ta'ala didn't say that. Allah ta'ala started off by saying, I have forgiven you. And the fact that Allah is saying, I forgave you, is indicated that there's something that was done wrong that needs to be forgiven. Then He identifies that. Allah Ta'ala said, Afallahu anka. Afallahu anka. Lima athinta lahum. Hatta yatabayyana laka alladhina sadaqu wa ta'lam al-kadhibin. Allah has forgiven you, O my Nabi. Why you went ahead and granted everyone respite and granted everyone a chance to stay back, whoever came with any excuse, flimsy excuse, until it became clear to you who are true in their words and who are lying. So, keeping this whole background in mind, there were some handicapped Sahaba, there were some there's some poor, extremely poor Sahaba who did not have the ability to provide their own rides. And they did not have camels, horses, mules, or any transportation. And they were not able to participate in this campaign. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals their condition in the Quran. Allah ta'ala says that there is no haraj, meaning there is no difficulty, no hardship, no obligation upon the marid, on the sick individual, on the blind individual, on the handicapped individual. وَلَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ إِذَا مَا أَتَوْكَ لِتَحْمِلَهُم. Neither is there any reproach or blame on those people, those poor individuals who came to you and asked you for a ride. Already there were 10 people per animal assigned, and they were taking turns to ride, and the rest of the time they were walking. So the rides had been provided by, of course, Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, who equipped the army and gave an amazing contribution at this time. Such an amazing contribution that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Awjab al-Jannah, you have now made Jannah wajib upon you, O Uthman." He equipped the army, but he equipped it to the maximum ability he had. Beyond that, there still were people who needed the rides. So Allah Ta'ala says, وَلَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ, there is no reproach and blame on those people who come to you, لِتَحْمِلَهُم, so that you may give them a ride. قُلْتَ لَا أَجِدُ مَا أَحْمِلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ. Then you responded and told them, I am sorry, I don't have any ride for you. You are free of blame. You do not have to participate. You have been granted an excuse, and officially you are excused. Officially you are excused because you don't have a right, and we don't have a right to provide for you. So any other person from a worldly perspective would have been relieved, would have been happy, would have been said, okay, I don't have to go. I can take care of my garden. I don't have to go in the heat. I don't have to face the Roman Empire. I don't have to travel so far. I can save the crop. Oh, I can stay with my family. Of course, on top of that, chance of losing your life, I can remain safe. So all the factors indicate that a person should have been relieved, should have been happy, should have been excited. But what was their condition? تَوَلَّوْا وَأَعْيُنُهُمْ تَفِيضُ مِنَ الدَّمْعِ حَزَنًا أَلَّا يَجِدُوا مَا يُنْفِقُونَ. They turned back, and they were crestfallen, they were heartbroken. أَعْيُنُهُمْ تَفِيضُ. Their eyes were flowing down. The scholars of Balagha and Tafsir, they explain that the eye, hopefully it remains within the socket. It doesn't flow down the cheeks. The tears flow down the cheeks. The tears flow down the cheeks when a person cries. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was saying that they were crying so excessively, they were crying out loud so much as if their eyes were literally coming down and flowing down their cheeks and off of their beards. Hazanan, they had such grief, Allah yajidu ma yunfiqun, that we have no money to participate in this campaign. They did not miss out on a picnic, on an excursion, on a vacation. They were excused from joining the most difficult campaign in the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But losing out on something of the deen was a cause of regret. It was a cause of sadness. And having the ability to make an accomplishment in the deen was a source of happiness. It was a source of being thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the essence of Eid. The reason we have the celebration of Eid is because we are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessings upon us, for the blessings of the month of Ramadan. If we deserved it, and we are the best ones who can judge our own actions, even on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, "Iqra kitabak," read your book of deeds, "Kafa bi nafsika al-yawma alayka hasiba." You are sufficient to judge where you belong, what your final abode should be. So we can make muhasabah and reflect over ourselves. We know if we were striving hard to the maximum, mastata'na, as much as we could, in trying to gain proximity to Allah and gaining His forgiveness in this month, then the time for celebration and the time for happiness and thankfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is coming near. But if you were relaxed and we did not fulfill that, then we have time for regret and tawbah and istighfar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who deserve to be happy on Eid, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant His maghfirah in this month. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Let's perform sunnah inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I have a few announcements, inshallah. First of all, I'm not going to be doing any active fundraising, but I just want to remind everyone here on this final Friday that alhamdulillah, we are witnessing the construction of the seminary campus. We want to be completing the construction, inshallah, by next Ramadan. So please donate generously, inshallah, for the construction in this blessed month. This is a campus that will serve 1,000 students of knowledge, inshallah, men and women from across the country. It is a national landmark that is coming up. We are very honored that we are part of the project, that we are locals to this project, and we all support this project. So please be generous, open your hearts and your wallets, inshallah, in this month of Ramadan when the rewards are being multiplied to participate in building this, inshallah. Please pass the donation boxes. Please donate generously. On the way out, inshallah, if you have a credit card with you, please do swipe something on the kiosk and inshallah purchase your share of Jannah. At minimum, you can purchase a musalla for $2,000 in the women's prayer hall, or any other amount that you have that is available to you. Inshallah, you will see the reward in your graves. You will see the reward on the Day of Judgment. You will see the reward when you need it most. يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ. On that day, neither wealth will help, nor children will help. It is a good deed we present to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will come to our aid. May Allah ta'ala give us tawfiq, inshallah. Allow us to open our hearts. This is a local project. We see it right in front of us. We need to be the first ones to support it, inshallah. Zakatul Fitr, the obligation upon us, every individual in the family, it is $6 per person. Please pay as soon as possible. There is a designated box in the lobby. Inshallah, our Khatm al-Quran in the Salatul Taraweeh and a final dua, inshallah, will be on Sunday, June 2nd, the day after tomorrow, 29th, the night of Ramadan. Isha Salah will be at 10 p.m. We hope to see you and your family there, inshallah, to participate in this momentous occasion when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down 4,000 angels. Man khatama al-Qur'ana thumma da'a ammana ala du'a'ihi arba'atu alaf malak. 4,000 angels will be here, inshallah, to say Ameen to the du'as when the Qur'an is completed. Please note, this is one of the largest gatherings of the entire year, so all attendees are requested to arrive early and should expect to leave after the dua, because there might be parking issues, so mentally be prepared. Please try to carpool and cooperate with the volunteer parking staff. We will ensure that the program ends in sufficient time to return home and have suhoor, inshallah. For those who are not in itikaf, they can return home and have suhoor. We will end on time, inshallah, this year. This is the plan. Eid al-Fitr will either be on Tuesday, June 4th, or Wednesday, June 5th, depending on the declaration by the Chicago Hilal Committee. Over here at Dar es Salaam, we'll have two Eid prayers. First one is Fajr will be at 4:45, and right after at 5 o'clock, 15 minutes after the Fajr Jama'ah timing, will be the bayan and the talk, and 5:30 will be the Eid prayer. So you would come for this prayer right at Fajr, come right at Fajr time, and after Fajr you can continue to sit and perform the Eid at 5:30 and return. The second Salah, inshallah, will be 9 o'clock will be the lecture, and 9:30 will be the Jama'at. Please visit our website for further details of all the programs that are being offered here in the summer, etc. We have dua requests from Brother Tariq Shehzad. He's in the hospital. He's on 3 forms of life support. We have dua requests from Brother Naveed, our volunteer and Musalli, who is battling cancer in his last stages. And dua maghfirah for our student's grandfather, who is in critical condition. Dua for the surgery of our beloved student and friend, Brother Hafiz Faraz Abdul Mu'ayyid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make his surgery successful. So these are all the requests for the dua, inshallah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله حمد الشاكرين، ونؤمن به إيمان الموقنين، ونقر بوحدانيته إقرار الصادقين، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له رب العالمين، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله المبعوث رحمة للعالمين، صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، فيا إخوتي في الله ويا أحبتي في الله، اتقوا الله سبحانه وتعالى في السر والعلن، وذروا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن، وحافظوا على الجمع والجماعة، ووطنوا أنفسكم على السمع والطاعة، واعلموا أن خير الكلام كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم تنزيله بعد أن أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. وقال النبي صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وسلم: إذا سرتك حسنتك وساءتك سيئتك فأنت مؤمن، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. صدق الله مولانا العظيم، وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم، ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم، ونفعنا وإياكم بما فيه من الآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين، فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. استغفر الله. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلله فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله، صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وبعد، إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي، يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك، وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته. وارض اللهم عن خلفاء الراشدين أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي، وعن سائر الصحابة والتابعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات، إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، وانصر الإسلام والمسلمين، واحفظ الإسلام والمسلمين، وانصرنا على أعدائك أعدائنا أعداء الدين يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا، وتقبل ركوعنا وسجودنا، وتقبل تبرعاتنا وتلاوتنا لكتابك يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا عند ختم القرآن من الفائزين. اللهم اجعلنا ممن وفق بقيام ليلة القدر. اللهم اجعلنا من عتقاء رمضان يا رب العالمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى، وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي، يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العلي العظيم يذكركم، وادعوه يستجب لكم، ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى.
وأعز وأجل وأتم وأهم وأعظم وأكبر، والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وأقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
So اعتدلوا, please straighten the line, stand shoulder to shoulder, please fill in all the gaps. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح. المصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار. نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم. في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال. رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار. ليجزيهم الله أحسن ما عملوا ويزيدهم من فضله والله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والذين كفروا أعمالهم كسراب بقيعة يحسبه الظمآن ماء حتى إذا جاءه لم يجده شيئا ووجد الله عنده فوفاه حسابه والله سريع الحساب. أو كظلمات في بحر لجي يغشاه موج من فوقه موج من فوقه سحاب ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض إذا أخرج يده لم يكد يراها ومن لم يجعل الله له نورا فما له من نور. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اغفر وارحم وتجاوز عما تعلم إنك أنت العز الأكرم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. O Allah, all those brothers who requested for shifa, O Allah, grant them shifa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, all those who passed away, grant them maghfirah, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, accept our ibadat in this month, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, seal our forgiveness, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, free us from the fire of Jahannam, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, make us among those who worship you on Laylatul Qadr, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, as the end of this month is drawing near, make us among those who deserve to be happy and rejoice on the day of Eid, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, make us not among those who need to regret and lament on the day of Eid, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, O Allah, O Allah, allow us to meet you in a condition that you are pleased to see us and we are pleased to see you, Ya Rabbal Alameen. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, brothers in itikaf, please note, there will be a second Jumu'ah prayer. After the second Jumu'ah prayer, we will have the fiqh of halal and haram workshop.
Assalamu alaikum. Anyone who has their car double parked has to move immediately. Anyone who has their car double parked, please move your car immediately. Jazakullahu Khairun.
Assalamu alaikum. Those brothers in i'tikaf who are wondering what they should do during the second Jumu'ah, they're welcome to also, if they want, they can participate in the second Jumu'ah, and you can also pray the Jumu'ah as well with the intention of nafal. So if you want, you're welcome to do that as well. Jazakumullahu Khairun. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. If we were to graph out our spirituality throughout our lives, what we would see is that we would see that basically a cycle of peaks and troughs. So basically like, like a wave going up and down. So this would largely reflect our spirituality throughout our lives. So there's some times where we're on a high spiritually, and then it drops naturally, and then maybe something happens, we're inspired in some way, and then our spirituality goes up again. And largely speaking, those peaks would primarily be in Ramadan. So during Ramadan, our spirituality starts to go up, and near the end of Ramadan, it's sort of at a high. Then afterwards, then it falls again. And then it sort of keeps on falling, maybe levels off, and then some time goes by, and then you have maybe Hajj or like whatever, Umrah, maybe in the middle. But then largely in the next Ramadan, when the next Ramadan comes, it starts to rise again. And then there's another peak, and then it starts to fall again. And then these are our lives, basically. This is how we chart, if sort of the y-axis is spirituality and the x-axis is time, that's sort of how our spirituality would look. So we see that Ramadan after Ramadan, many of us have lived through multiple Ramadans. And then we see that pretty much this is the same trend that repeats itself again and again. One Ramadan comes, and then we're riding the spiritual high, and then Ramadan goes, and then we sort of revert back to our original state. And then we're just sort of waiting for the next boost. And when the next boost comes, next Ramadan comes, we get boosted again, but then we fall again after that. So this is sort of a repeated process that we see happen to ourselves again and again, right? Can anyone else, does anyone else feel the same thing? Probably everybody has observed the same cycle in their lives. So now the question is that every Ramadan we say that we want this Ramadan to be a different one. We want this Ramadan to be different from all the rest. But what inevitably ends up happening, we just fall back into the same cycle. It's good. Maybe we increase our actions of ibadah in Ramadan. We fast. Obviously, we don't really fast throughout the rest of the year as much. We read much more Quran. Who else throughout the year comes for 2 hours in the masjid at night and just prays? No one does that. So then in Ramadan, we're obviously increasing our ibadah. But then after Ramadan, we say we want to maintain the same level of ibadah, same level of connection of Allah. But internally, each and every one, all of us know that that level of ibadah for us, for a normal person, is not sustainable throughout the year. I'm talking about normal people, regular people. Do regular people pray for 2 hours every night? Do regular people fast every day? The normal average person? The answer is no. We don't do that. So then we say that yes, Ramadan is very good. We got this boost. We did all this ibadah. We want to now maintain that. But we say we want to maintain it. At the same time that we say we want to maintain that, we know in the back of our minds that, that's not really practical for us in our normal lives. We're not going to be able to maintain that level of ibadah. So we find ourselves in sort of a catch-22. We say that we want this Ramadan to be different, we want to maintain our ibadah, but we know that that's actually not going to happen. And then if we look at our lives, every single year, the same thing happens. We have this big boost in Ramadan, then we fall afterwards. This big boost in Ramadan, then we fall afterwards again. And then let's take a minute to ask ourselves, why does this cycle keep on repeating itself? Well, it's perhaps because our goals are a little bit misaligned. The purpose of Ramadan, largely as we see it, is Ramadan is an opportunity for a lot of good deeds. In fact, we hear year after year that in Ramadan our good deeds are multiplied. You do one nafil, and it's equivalent to a fard. Any fard act is multiplied 70 times or more. any act of ibadah, like Sawm, for example, fasting, Allah Ta'ala says that I haven't even told you the reward for fasting because that's something I keep for myself. In some narrations of hadith, I'm the reward for it, right? Meaning Allah will personally reward the person with His pleasure. So then we hear all those things and we say that, yeah, Ramadan is a time where you increase our ibadah. You have to sort of maximize on every moment you have. Because every single moment is precious. Every single moment you have an opportunity for doing more ibadah and scoring more points, getting more reward. And largely this is how we see it. And this definitely is very true. But then we're missing a crucial element if we look at it like this. We're missing a very crucial element. And what is that element? Allah Ta'ala says regarding Ramadan, Allah doesn't speak about Ramadan many places in the Quran. There's certain stories like the story of Musa alayhi salam. Almost every para has, every juz has mention of Musa alayhi salam, almost. The story of Adam alayhi salam and Iblis. It comes up so many times throughout the Quran. There's certain things that Allah Ta'ala repeats again and again. But there's other things in the Quran where Allah just mentions basically once. So whatever Allah mentions there, if Allah is only talking about it one time, then we need to do our utmost best to analyze that and see what does Allah Ta'ala want from us, because He's not speaking about it many times, He's only speaking about it once. So Allah says that the purpose of fasting, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam, O those who believe, fasting has been prescribed on you, kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, as it was prescribed on those before, la'allakum tattaqun, so that you may attain taqwa. So we see the purpose of Ramadan is to come out with taqwa. Allah doesn't say, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَزِيدُونَ فِي أَعْمَالِكُمْ, so that you can increase your good deeds. That's why fasting is prescribed on you. Not to say we shouldn't increase our good deeds. Let's not miss the point here. Of course we should increase our good deeds in Ramadan. Allah is giving us an opportunity to get closer to Him. But we fail to realize, many of us, I'm speaking about myself first and foremost, that increasing your good deeds is not necessarily maqsood, is not necessarily a goal in and of itself. What do I mean by that? Because when we do good deeds, when we do these a'mal, when we do these righteous actions, they're not an end in of themselves. What is the purpose of these good deeds? Allah Ta'ala explains in a hadith. Allah says, وَمَا تَقَرَّبَ إِلَيَّ عَبْدِي بِشَيْءٍ أَحَبَّ إِلَيَّ مِمَّا افْتَرَضْتُهُ عَلَيْهِ وَلَا يَزَالُ عَبْدِي يَتَقَرَّبُ إِلَيَّ بِالنَّوَافِلِ حَتَّى أُحِبَّهُ. That my slave doesn't do anything to get closer to me better than doing the fard actions. If he does what's required from him, that's the best thing he can do, he or she, any person, can do to get closer to Allah. And a person will continue doing nafal actions on top of the fard. If we add on nafal actions, like extra actions, extra credit, then my slave will continue drawing closer to me. حَتَّى أُحِبَّهُ, till my slave gets to a state that I love him. حَتَّى أُحِبَّهُ. And then Allah goes on to say, so he keeps on doing ibadah, he keeps on doing actions, eventually he gets to a state that I start loving him. فَإِذَا أَحْبَبْتُهُ كُنْتُ سَمْعُهُ الَّذِي يَسْمَعُ بِهِ وَبَصَرُهُ الَّذِي يُبْصِرُ بِهِ وَرِجْلُهُ الَّتِي يَمْشِي بِهَا. Allah says that when I start loving my servant, I become the eye through which he sees. I become the ear through which he hears. I become the leg through which he walks, the foot through which he walks. What is that talking about? Obviously we're speaking metaphorically here. Obviously it's not literal, it's not physical. What it means is that this person's thoughts, this person's heart is consumed by the thoughts of Allah. This person is always in the remembrance of Allah, such that this relationship that he has with Allah Ta'ala motivates each and every single thing that he does. So this person is living a normal life, living in the dunya. This person is going to work, yet he has something that no one else has. He has this very close relationship with Allah Ta'ala. Now how does this work? Let's say that someone gets married. Okay, let's say a person gets married. We might have gotten married at one point in our lives, or we know people who got married or who are getting married. And what do we generally know about people who get married? You see them afterwards, you're like, hey, what's up with the goofy smile? Because there's something that's always on their mind. Yes, maybe they're still going to work. Maybe they're still going to school or whatever they're doing. They're still going about their daily motions of life. It's not like everything stops with marriage, but they're going about their daily motions of life, but there's something on their mind. Because now they love someone. So now this loving relationship that they have with their spouse, it's constantly on their minds. So although they're going about their daily interactions, they're going to work, they're doing their work, they're driving, they're doing whatever, going to the masjid, but there's always something on their minds. So what does this show? This shows that as humans, we have a capacity to continue going about our daily interactions, to continue going about our regular lives, yet if somebody loves somebody, then that thought of that person, or that being for that matter, can always stay in their minds and won't necessarily hamper them from what they're doing. Does everyone understand? So Ramadan is about, yes, we know Ramadan is about increasing our ibadah, doing a lot of ibadah. That's all good, we all understand that. But that's not a goal in and of itself. Rather, the purpose of these actions that we do, the purpose of these righteous actions is so that, as I just said in the hadith, we do these righteous actions so that we can attain the love of Allah. So the purpose of Ramadan is not necessarily merely to increase our actions. Rather, Allah says that fasting has been prescribed on you as it was prescribed on those before you so that you can attain taqwa. So that we can attain taqwa. And taqwa is not, it doesn't merely refer to kathratul a'mal. It doesn't refer to kathratul ibadat. It doesn't refer to merely increasing our ibadat. That's not what taqwa is. Rather, taqwa is a state of mind. Meaning that we have taqwa. In Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu defined taqwa to be al-khawfu min al-jalil, wal-amalu bil-tanzil, wal-qana'atu bil-qalil, wal-ista'dadu liyawm al-rahil. Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, the fourth Khalifa, he said that taqwa is four things. You have to fear the most sublime being, meaning fear Allah. And you act on whatever Allah has revealed. وَالْعَمْلُ بِالتَّنْزِيلِ. Number three, وَالْقَنَاعَةُ بِالْقَلِيلِ. And we're content with whatever little we have. Meaning that we don't always have greed for more and more. We're content with anything that Allah gives us. وَالْإِسْتِعْدَادُ لِيَوْمِ الرَّحِيلِ. The fourth thing that comprises taqwa is we prepare for the day that we have to set out on our journey, which is the day that we die. We're preparing for that day. So this is what taqwa is. And now another Sahabi, Ubay bin Ka'b radiallahu anhu, known to be one of the most knowledgeable of the Sahaba, from the ulama of Sahaba. One time Umar bin Khattab, the Khalifa, he asked Ubay bin Ka'b, he said, explain to me this whole taqwa thing. What is taqwa? Explain it to me. So Ubay bin Ka'b said that imagine that you're walking and then you have long flowy clothes. So not that you're wearing tight clothes, but you have long flowy clothes. And then you are walking down a path, and then the path is riddled with thorns, thorny branches. Then how would you walk along this path? You would be very careful. You would make sure that you're holding your clothes close to you so that nothing gets stuck in the thorns, so that your clothes don't rip. You're going to make sure that you're very careful in every single step that you take. And this is exactly what taqwa is. Taqwa is that we have this consciousness of Allah Ta'ala in our minds. I mean, that we're always aware of Allah. I mean, you know that Allah doesn't want us to do certain things. Allah Ta'ala wants us to do other things. And we're mindful of that. So that's what taqwa is. So as we see, the purpose of Ramadan is not merely to increase our good deeds. Rather, the purpose of Ramadan is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, to come out with a state of mind. So taqwa does not refer to increase of deeds. Taqwa refers to a state of mind. And that's the ultimate goal of Ramadan. So why do we, I'll get to that in a second. So taqwa is a state of mind. And now so as Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu defined, it's the fear of Allah, the fear of the most sublime one. And so what does that mean? Does that mean that we've memorized this list of rules and regulations and we're constantly aware of this list that we can't do that, we can't go there? That's not what it is. It's not merely just that. Rather, it's to develop the love of Allah. Because taqwa ultimately is about developing a relationship with Allah. And now we know that, let's say you have a son who is very close to the father. And the father they have a very loving relationship. And then the son's friends, the kid's friends say, hey, let's go out and party tonight. He says, no, I don't want to do that. And the people say, why? His friends say, why? Why don't you want to go out and party? It's okay, don't worry about it. No one will find out. We'll just sneak you out. And he says, no, I don't want they say your dad will never find out. He's like, I know, maybe I can sneak out, maybe my dad won't know, but I don't want to do anything that even if my dad were to find out, even if he weren't to find out, but just to know that I don't want to do anything to disappoint my dad. Why? Because I have this relationship with my dad, and I know he has certain expectations of me. My dad who's done so many things for me. He's brought me up, he's given me everything that I need, he's fed me, he's clothed me, all those things like that. I know what he wants from me, and even if he's not going to find out, I don't want to disappoint him. So that's essentially what taqwa is, that we have this loving relationship with Allah. And because of that loving relationship with Allah Ta'ala, we don't want to do anything to disappoint Allah. Because we know that Allah is the one that gave us so much. Allah is the one that gave us the ability to be healthy. Allah is the one that granted us parents. Allah is the one that gave us everything that we have. So we don't want to do anything that would disappoint Allah. So yes, you have this fear of Allah. But why? Because you love Allah. And we don't want to do anything to disappoint Allah. So now very quickly, I'll just end with one or two things. So as to reiterate, the goal of Ramadan is not merely to come out with a bunch of good deeds. Rather, the goal of Ramadan is to come out with this state of mind. Or we can even say this state of heart. That we come out of Ramadan a different person from how we went into Ramadan. Because now we have this consciousness of Allah. Now we have this love of Allah. So that's ultimately the purpose of our ibadah that we do at night, the tarawih that we pray, the dua that we do, the Quran that we read, the fasting that we do. All of it is for the sake of achieving the love of Allah, achieving the state of awareness. Now what we have in front of us is just a few fleeting moments left of Ramadan. Maybe 3 days or 4 days, whatever it is. We just have a few days left of Ramadan. Now if there's a basketball player who's, let's say he's playing throughout the season, he gets to the playoffs, now he's in the finals. Now it's game 7 of the finals. And now he's playing, now it's the 4th quarter. And then he says that, well, you know, I have pretty good stats throughout the season. I'm averaging 20 points, 25 points a game. I have like good number of rebounds every game. I have pretty good stats. And then throughout the game, we've acquired so many points. We have like, I don't know, 90 points, 100 points throughout the 3.5 quarters that we've been playing. So this is pretty good. Now I'll just sort of like take it easy. We'd say that this basketball player is extremely foolish, because he doesn't realize that the last few moments are the moments that count the most. Because this is a time that he has to either secure victory for his team, himself and his team, or he can potentially lose it. If somebody racked up so many points throughout the game, throughout the season, he racked up so many points, but in the last few minutes of the 4th quarter of the final game of the season, he just decides to take it easy because he says, well, I already did so much. I already have so many points. Then we say this person is foolish because this is when it counts the most. We find ourselves in the exact same situation. In Ramadan, especially in the last few days of Ramadan, we've been going through this cycle every day. We're fasting, we're praying tarawih, we're listening to the Quran, we're reading Quran. At some point we get a little bit tired. We're like, yeah, we already did a lot of good deeds. We already had a lot of long du'as. We already went to 1 or 2 khatams. Hopefully, yeah, inshallah we're forgiven. Inshallah we did all this ibadah. Inshallah we're good. So we say that, yeah, I already did a lot of ibadah, inshallah Allah will accept it. Yeah, we do hope that Allah accepts it. But then we're missing the point. Because the point of Ramadan is not merely to do a lot of ibadat for the sake, just to do ibadat to rack up the points. If we're just trying to rack up points, that's good, but we're missing the main purpose of Ramadan. Because it's not merely to rack up points and get a lot of thawab. Of course, that's a main part of it. But then we're missing the main focus. The main focus is that we're racking up these points for the sake of Allah, to achieve this love of Allah, to achieve this personal relationship with Allah. Now if our mindset in the last few days of Ramadan is that, yeah, I got a lot of points, I did a lot of good deeds, hopefully my account is secure, I attended a lot of khatams and did a lot of du'as and stuff like that, so hopefully I've been forgiven, I'm pretty good, I'm doing well. But that's not the point. Because the point is that if we're thinking that way, we say, yeah, I've already done a lot, now I'm just waiting for Ramadan to be over so I can get back to my life. Yes, at some level, we're a little bit tired, we're a little bit fatigued, we want to quote unquote get back to our lives. Yes, at some level that's there, but then we're missing the point. Because if we're waiting to quote unquote get back to our lives, that means that we haven't developed this relationship with Allah Ta'ala. We haven't changed and altered our personal relationship with Allah Ta'ala. Let's say somebody goes to overseas, somebody goes to India or something like that, and they're visiting their grandfather, they're visiting their grandparents. And then the last few days that they're there, the last day that they're there, and then let's say they've been there for like a month or something, and then now their friends that they have, they say, oh, you're only here for one more day, let's take you out. We'll take you out to eat, let's go and let's do some sightseeing or something like that. What will a person say? Normally most people will say, oh, I'm sorry, this is my last day here. I want to try to spend as much time with my grandfather, as much time with my grandmother as possible. Why? Because they know that they went there for a purpose. And the purpose is to strengthen that relationship, or just to further that relationship that they have with their grandparents. So then now to do anything else would be, they realize that those last few moments are valuable. So we find ourselves in the same situation. If we felt that we've achieved this taqwa, we've achieved this individual relationship with Allah Ta'ala, then that's great. But if we feel that we're still lacking, we feel that we do dua and we feel like we're talking to somebody that we don't know. We feel like we're just sort of with a distant acquaintance. Somebody that, when you talk to somebody that you know, somebody that's a good friend, 2 hours will go by and you won't even know where the time went. You're like, oh my God, I thought we were just talking for 20 minutes. It's been 2 hours. But when you're with an acquaintance, somebody who you don't really know so well, then you're like, you don't even know how to fill up the time. With many of us, when we make dua, that's how it is. We don't even know how to fill up the time because we're talking to somebody whom we quote unquote don't really have that relationship with. Somebody who just sort of a distant acquaintance, na'udhu billah. Somebody who we don't have that loving relationship with. So now in Ramadan, in these last few days, last few moments of Ramadan, if we haven't developed that relationship with Allah Ta'ala, then this is what each and every one of us need to focus on very hard. Because this is a final opportunity that Allah Ta'ala has given us to establish this close relationship with Allah Ta'ala. We must use these last few moments. It's not merely about racking up the good deeds. It's not merely about racking up points. But we use these last few moments to ask Allah, oh Allah, please grant me your love. Oh Allah, I haven't achieved your love. Oh Allah, I still feel that I make dua for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then I feel like I'm done. I don't even know what else to say. I don't feel like I'm communicating with somebody whom I really know. We say, oh Allah, please grant me your love. Oh Allah, please let me leave Ramadan with your taqwa. And let's make this our primary focus. The last few moments of Ramadan, the last few days of Ramadan that we have. Yes, we'll continue with our ibadat, but we'll do our ibadat, our acts of worship specifically for the sake of achieving this relationship with Allah Ta'ala. We ask that Allah Ta'ala grant all of us this special relationship with Him. Wa sallallahu ala nabi al-kareem. If we haven't prayed our sunnah, we can just take a few minutes to pray our sunnah right now. Jazakullahu Khairun. Assalamu alaikum. There's a few announcements. The first thing is please pass the donation boxes. You'll find them on your left side, so please pass the donation boxes. Also, Zakatul Fitr, Sadaqatul Fitr is $6 per person, so please pay as soon as possible. The idea behind Sadaqatul Fitr is that we all enjoy our Eid, and we should try to give a little bit from our own wealth to help other people who are less fortunate enjoy their Eid as well. So it's only $6 per person. Inshallah, this can feed a family or feed an individual. So we ask that everyone please pay that as soon as possible. We should try to do that before Eid so that we can distribute the food or the money so that it can get to the people on the day of Eid or before Eid so that other people can enjoy their Eid as well. So it's $6 per person. Please do that as soon as possible. Inshallah, our Khatmul Quran and Dua will be on Sunday, June 2nd, which is the 29th night of Ramadan. So 2 days from now. Isha will be at 10:10 p.m. as it is now, so we hope to see everyone there. And then also please note that this is one of our largest gatherings throughout the year. So as we know, parking will be a little bit tight. It'll be very crowded. So we highly encourage everyone to arrive early if you're coming that night. And everyone should also expect to leave after the dua as well. And also please please, if you can, try to carpool with any friends, neighbors, anyone, family members that you know that are going. If there's multiple cars coming from one household, one family, then it makes it a bit difficult for us to manage with parking, so we ask that we try to carpool as much as possible. Eid al-Fitr will either be Tuesday, June 4th, or Wednesday, June 5th, so that's this upcoming week. Eid will be, inshallah, either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the declaration of the Chicago Hilal Committee, and we will have 2 Eid Salahs. So the first Eid Salah, so Fajr that day will be 4:45 a.m. Take note of that because nowadays we're praying much earlier than that, but on the day of Eid, Fajr will be at 4:45, and the first Salah will begin immediately, the first bayan, the first Eid khutbah, the Eid speech will begin following Fajr immediately. So the first prayer will be at 5 o'clock for the speech and 5:30 for the actual prayer itself. So essentially immediately following Fajr. So if you're planning on attending the first Eid Salah, in which the speech starts at 5 o'clock, then please be here for Fajr. And again, please try to come early because again, it gets very tight and crowded. The second Eid Salah, if that's a little bit early for you, then the second Eid Salah will be at 9 o'clock for the speech, and the prayer, the Jamaat, will be at 9:30. So again, the Eid prayers will be at 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So please try to attend whichever one is convenient for you. There's a dua request that Brother Tariq Shahzad is in the hospital and he's on 3 forms of life support. So we ask Allah Ta'ala grant him quick shifa. We ask Allah Ta'ala remove all of his ailments. Also, our Naveed Pai, our community member in Musalli, is also very sick. So we ask Allah Ta'ala grant him cure and remove any difficulty that he's going through. One of our students here in the 5th year, his grandfather just passed away right before Jumu'ah. So we ask that Allah Ta'ala forgive his grandfather. We ask Allah Ta'ala grant him maghfirah. And we ask that Allah Ta'ala shower his grave with mercy. And we ask that Allah Ta'ala make this difficult time easy for the family. And we ask that Allah Ta'ala reward their patience. And then a dear friend of mine and a community member that's known to many of us, a former student of Dar es-Salaam as well, Hafiz Faraz Abdul Mu'eed. He's having surgery after Ramadan, so we should all make dua. We ask Allah Ta'ala make the surgery easy for him. We ask Allah Ta'ala make it a means of exalting his status. We ask Allah Ta'ala not give any complication, or not allow there to be any complications in the surgery. We ask Allah Ta'ala make it go smoothly. There's many other people who are sick. We ask Allah Ta'ala cure all of their ailments. We'll make a short dua after the salah as well. Jazakallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد واهتدى ومن يعص الله ورسوله فإنه قد غوى وإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا إن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد بعد أن أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون بارك الله لنا وإياكم في القرآن المجيد ونفعنا وإياكم بذكره الحكيم إنه تعالى جواد كريم ملك بر رؤوف رحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين أما بعد فيا معشر المسلمين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد بعدد من صلى وصام اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد بعدد من قعد وقام اللهم صل على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى سائر الصحابة والتابعين وعلى عبادك الصالحين اللهم أيد الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأعز وأجل وأهم وأكبر وأقيموا الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Please make sure that your rows are straight and also take a moment to ensure that your cell phones are on silent or off. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وسيق الذين اتقوا ربهم إلى الجنة زمرا حتى إذا جاءوها وفتحت أبوابها وقال لهم خزنتها سلام عليكم طبتم فادخلوها خالدين وقالوا الحمد لله الذي صدقنا وعده وأورثنا الأرض نتبوأ من الجنة حيث نشاء فنعم أجر العاملين. وترى الملائكة حافين من حول العرش يسبحون بحمد ربهم وقضي بينهم بالحق وقيل الحمد لله رب العالمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وانثانا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام، ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. اللهم توفنا مسلمين والحقنا بالصالحين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلى الله على النبي الكريم.